Hey, friend, before we even get into today's episode, I want you to take a breath, the kind that you have not taken yet this month. Because if you are anything like the women that I have been talking to recently, you are carrying the weight of the entire holiday season on top of a life that was already maxed out. You were not walking into December fresh and rested. You were walking in tired, overstretched, managing the emotional load of everyone and everything. And then the holidays said, "Hey, Queen, mind doing all of that with the twinkle lights and matching pajamas?" So if your jaw is tight, if your chest feels heavy, if you are running the family like the CEO of Christmas, and you have been secretly fantasizing about throwing your phone into a snowbank, you are not alone. Today, we are talking about that weight, the visible and the invisible parts, and why letting go feels so impossible, and how you can finally loosen that grip just a bit without letting everything fall apart. Welcome to Mindset Medicine with Dr. Tanya Burfield, where science meets soul, burnout meets boundaries, and high achieving women finally stop performing and start healing. I am a resilience and transformation expert, nervous system strategist, and recovering overfunctioner just like you. This podcast is your sanctuary for breaking cycles, rewriting stories, and reclaiming your energy, your peace, and your power. Each week, we blend neuroscience, somatic practices, and spiritual truth to help you unlearn the noise and remember who you really are. You're not broken. You're breaking free. And this is your medicine. Okay, friend, here we are. So before we even begin, I apologize. I am getting over a nasty cold and sinus infection and bronchitis and you name it. And so I am sniffling and coughing and don't sound my best. So give me a little bit of grace here and we'll just go with it. All right. So before we start, I want you to take a breath, a real breath, not the "I've got 3 minutes before someone needs something from me" breath, but the kind of inhale that fills your belly, that lifts your chest and reminds your nervous system that you are allowed to unclench, even if it's just for a little bit. So do that now with me. Inhale and a nice long exhale. Fantastic. We're doing that because if you were anything like every other woman that I have been talking with this month, you have been wound tight since mid-November. You're holding your shoulders up like they're earrings. You're holding the emotional climate of your entire household. You are holding the schedules, the traditions, the expectations, the shopping lists, the deadlines, the don't forgets. And then December shows up and says, "Hey, sis, do you want to do all of that? Plus, maybe let's also create some magical memories with matching pajamas and homemade cookies and 6 holiday parties and travel and family dynamics that make your jaw lock." Yeah, me too. It's a lot. It's too much. It's so freaking overwhelming and it's frustrating. And here's the thing. Here's the truth that nobody's naming. The weight of the holiday season feels heavy because it lands on a foundation that was already maxed out. You did not walk into December fresh. You walked in tired. You were walking in overstretched, overcommitted, overwhelmed. You walked in with a nervous system already running at full capacity, trying to manage your work, your life, your mental load, your emotional load, your family, your responsibilities, your self doubt, the invisible expectations. And then that daily question that you ask yourself that it turns into this, am I doing enough loop? December doesn't create the weight, it compounds it. So today's episode is just about acknowledging the weight of both the holidays and your whole damn life, and then understanding why letting go feels so impossible and how to at least start to loosen your grip in a way that feels safe and loving and sustainable. Because you, my friend, deserve at least one exhale before you rush into the new year. All right, let's start by acknowledging what is real, not the curated version where we give people, when they say, "How are you?" we just respond with, "I'm good. I'm just busy." No, nope, nada. we're going to dig a little bit deeper into that layer. So, most of the women that I work with are carrying around this level of emotional, physical, and mental weight that would buckle the knees of most humans. And we do it quietly, and we are doing it competently. We've been conditioned to pretend that we're fine while silently managing the entire emotional ecosystem of our families, our teams, our relationships, our inboxes, our calendars. You know, this weight that I'm talking about, it's the weight of holding everyone else's needs together. It's managing everyone else's expectations. It's anticipating every possible disaster on the face of this earth. It is ensuring every person is emotionally stable, that you are keeping the peace, that you are making the memories, that you are creating the moments, that you are smoothing the edges, that you are catching the things, that you are fixing the things, and that you are being the strong, dependable, and responsible one. And by the way, you are doing all of that with a smile because God forbid someone thinks that you are struggling. And then the holiday season enters like an uninvited guest who brings an emotional labor and sets it up right on top of your already overflowing plate. That's why December feels so damn heavy. You're not walking into the holidays with this clean slate. You're walking in with a full cart and someone just threw a Christmas tree on the top. So let's just acknowledge this truth. You are already stretched thin. December just pushed you past that edge. So why can't we just, I don't know, drop the rope? Why can't we let someone else handle it? Any of it. Why do we keep doing the most when our bodies are begging us to slow down? Why can I predict when I am going to get sick based on when I have a minute to breathe? Let's peel back the layers of 4 different areas that you will need to create some awareness around this. So the first one, perfection as protection. Somewhere deep in your story, maybe it's childhood, your teenage years, early childhood, you learned that by doing things right, you were kept safe. Maybe it protected you from criticism. Maybe it kept the peace. Maybe it prevented conflict. Maybe it earned the love that you weren't sure you would get otherwise. But perfectionism is not about aesthetics. It's not about being organized or high achieving. Perfectionism is your nervous system trying to prevent pain. And if I can anticipate everything, nothing will fall apart. If I can handle everything, no one gets disappointed. If I can manage it all, I stay in control. Letting go feels like danger, not freedom. Hear that. Letting go feels like danger, not freedom. Number 2, nervous system imprinting. Control equals safety. Your brain is brilliant, but she is a touch dramatic. She learned early on that control equals predictability and predictability equals safety. Control gives you that dopamine hit. It feels good. It feels competent. It feels stable. But uncertainty is what triggers your cortisol. That is your stress hormone, the one that says, nope, hard pass, let me just do it myself. Does that sound familiar? So, of course, you stay in the driver's seat. Your biology thinks that it's keeping you alive. Letting go requires your body to believe you won't die if someone else loads the dishwasher incorrectly. All right, number 3 is ancestral programming. This one is a little bit of a stretch and is down my hippie woo road, but I promise you there is something to it. Your mother did not model ease for you, right? Your grandmother probably did not model rest. These women were conditioned way, way before their time into self-sacrifice as a love language. Many of us come from lineages of silent strength, these strong women who carried the world but never set it down. And the body remembers what the mind tries to forget. We've talked about this lots of times. We are carrying patterns that were never even ours to carry. So think about that and give some ease and grace to your loved ones as well, because they need it too. All right. And then number 4 is life plus holidays equals emotional overload. We have touched on this, but let's look at the compound effect. If your everyday life already feels like you are juggling flaming swords, and then the holidays rolled in like someone is handing you a Christmas ham and saying, here, juggle this too. It's not just the holidays. It's the holidays layered onto the stress that you already had, the workload that you were already carrying, the emotional labor that you had never put down, the unresolved pain that you've been powering through, the anxiety that's been humming under your skin, the resentment that you have swallowed out of just keeping the peace, and then the exhaustion that you just pretend is normal and fine and perfect, and that's just the way that life goes. It's no wonder that letting go feels like it's impossible. Your system is so overloaded, your breath is shallow, your bandwidth has been at zero since October. This is why the December meditation that I released at the beginning of the month felt so emotional for so many people. It gave your body permission to slow down and to feel that truth. So let's take a look at the signals that your body has been sending, because knowing what they are, recognizing them, those symptoms are the first step to letting you release them. So maybe you've noticed things like your chest tightening when someone asks you for just one more thing. Maybe it's an anxiety spiking just at strange and random moments, irritability over things that you normally just let slide, feeling numb or disconnected, feeling lonely even when you're not alone, tension headaches, migraines, locked jaws, emotional resentment that surprises you, the inability to relax even during rest, and car sickness. Hello, that's just a dysregulated vagus nerve. Crying randomly or feeling close to tears but not knowing why. A constant urge to fix, to manage, to anticipate, to control. Do any of these sound familiar? Too many of them? They're not flaws, I promise you. These are not your flaws. These are not your failures. They aren't proof that you are too sensitive or that you are not enough. They're just messages. They're your body trying to get your attention. And so letting go is not about being chill. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's not about toxic positivity or forcing yourself into Zen mode. Letting go is what happens when your nervous system finally feels safe enough to stop gripping. And that is what starts with soul love, the energy that we activated in the December meditation, a deeper, a softer truth. You deserve to feel supported. You deserve to stop carrying it all. You deserve ease. When you shift from performing to presence, from fear to love, from duty to desire, from control to connection, letting go isn't an action. It's a state. All right. Let's, because I can't just tell you this is what you need to know. We have to do something. And so let's take some time and work through a couple of grounding tools. Maybe just a couple of micro practices, if you will, so that they are manageable at this time of year, but you can actually use them right now in the next 24 hours, the next 24 days, however you want to use them. You can use them for the rest of your life. But there are three of them that we're going to talk about. The first one we sort of did without me even telling you that's what we're doing when we started. And so this one we'll call the 90-second pause. This is when you feel the urge to jump in, to fix it, to manage it, to control it. I want you to pause. Just pause. Put your hand on your chest. Inhale, and then exhale longer. Let your shoulders drop. Give your nervous system 90 seconds to settle down. That is all it takes for the cortisol to begin clearing out of your system. So I want you to do that with me. Take a nice inhale and a nice slow exhale, longer than your inhale. And we're just going to rest here in quiet for a couple of minutes, or for a minute. If your mind starts to wander, just as you inhale, think the word inhale, and same on the exhale. You're giving yourself permission to just pause. Beautiful. You did it. You gave yourself a pause. I love that for you. Do you feel the shift? Do you feel how you can move from a state of reaction to maybe a state of a little bit more calmness? You can do that anytime. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. You can be sitting in a room, you can be in a situation, and you can just stop and give yourself that. All right. So use it anytime. Number two, I want you to ask yourself, is this mine to carry? And so you can actually combine this with the 90-second pause if that makes sense for you. But what you're doing is that most of us are holding on to these things that aren't ours, right? We've talked about it. Some of it belongs to your mother, some of it belongs to society, some of it belongs to patriarchy, some of it belongs to people who should absolutely be carrying their own emotional luggage. It is not yours. You get to set it down and walk away. So, like I said, just stop. When you start to feel yourself having any kind of reaction or you're not feeling okay about something, just start asking yourself, is this mine to carry? Put it in with that 90-second pause if you want and let it go. You get to do that. It doesn't have to be mean. It doesn't have to be aggressive. It doesn't have to even be assertive. It's just you saying it's not mine and doing it with love and grace. And you'll be surprised at the reaction to that. And then the third one is the 10% rule. You know that you hear me talk about ease and grace on a regular basis. This is not a personality transplant, my friend. This is just you needing to be 10% softer than your instinct. That's what I'm referring to when I say grace. 10% fewer obligations, 10% less emotional labor, 10% looser schedule, 10% more breath. Small calmness creates massive change. This is not huge. These are small, minor shifts. They're things that you can do all of the time to create those sustainable micro shifts that we're talking about. Okay, friend, I hope that that works for you. So letting go is not about losing control. It is about choosing yourself, choosing your peace, choosing a nervous system that isn't living on the edge, choosing a life that feels like it is yours again. And so if this episode stirred something inside for you, even if it's just a flicker, even if it's a little bit of tension, I want you to think about that. I want you to follow that because you don't have to carry all of this alone. You get to share it with someone you get to share it with other people, the burdens. And then the other thing is if this resonated for you, you know someone else that needs to hear it. So share it with them as well. And then know that this is exactly why I created the Radical Resilience book bundle. So it's the companion that you need for this season moving into the new year. So it includes my signed book, the workbook, the audio journey, and some grounding tools. It is the whole healing path in one beautiful package. Buy it for yourself as an act of love. Buy it for a woman in your life who is quietly drowning. Buy it for someone who needs a reminder that she matters. Because, my friends, you and your loved ones all deserve rest. You deserve peace and you deserve support. Those are the things that will help you find the joy in this season. Until next time, I love you.